But today, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Rex rabbit.
The Rex rabbit, they're an incredibly elegant and attractive breed, known for their short, dense and plush coats.
The vast, unforgiving deserts of Dubai has always been a symbol of resilience and survival. But when Dubai made the bold decision to relocate 1 million rabbits to its arid sands, no one could have predicted the astonishing outcome. Now, a year later, the world is reeling from what has been discovered. How did these fragile creatures adapt to such an extreme environment? And what bizarre, unforeseen changes have emerged? This experiment has unveiled a side of nature that challenges everything we thought we knew, and the truth may leave you speechless. A shifting perspective on Dubai's desert. When many people think of Dubai, they tend to focus on futuristic skyscrapers, massive shopping destinations, and luxurious lifestyles.
The skyscraper-studded downtown of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, here at this rural area of golf trees, lakes, and small shrubs.
It's easy to forget that beyond the city's bold architecture lies a vast desert, stretching in every direction. This desert is characterized by golden sands that shift with the wind, and traditionally, the local environment has been challenging for most forms of agriculture. The arid climate, combined with scorching summer temperatures, creates conditions that make it hard for plant or animal life to gain a solid foothold. For decades, experts in the emirate have explored ways to manage and even reclaim portions of this sandy wilderness, but progress frequently proved limited. In recent years, one of the most surprising stories to emerge from Dubai's efforts at desert transformation centers around the introduction of a specific breed of rabbit, Rex hares. At first glance, such an idea might not sound like a practical response to desertification. After all, rabbits are typically associated with small-scale farms or hobby breeding, not large ecosystems with harsh climates. However, Dubai has always been known for embracing unexpected approaches. The same visionary spirit that led to artificial islands off the coast and record-breaking skyscrapers now drives ecological experiments as well. The idea behind releasing large numbers of rabbits was both simple and grand. By carefully managing breeding programs and monitoring rabbit behavior in the desert, specialists noticed that these creatures could aerate compacted soil, fertilize the land naturally, and allow new seeds to sprout. Over time, well-chosen desert shrubs and grasses might take hold in areas where they otherwise wouldn't stand a chance. Many experts in environmental science were intrigued, though they cautioned that success would require meticulous planning. At present, the story of Dubai's rabbit-driven desert renewal has gained international attention. Media outlets have reported on green pockets sprouting in areas once thought inhospitable. Local farmers, scientists, and business investors formed alliances to provide financial backing and practical expertise. While the process is still unfolding, early signs suggest that Dubai's grand experiment with Rex hares is paying off. The desert, once viewed only as a home to dry dunes and minimal vegetation, has begun to reveal a capacity for renewal. Yet this transformation didn't happen overnight. To fully grasp why rabbits have become a focal point of desert management, it helps to understand the broader context of desertification that Dubai has faced. Over the years, the city rose from the sand to become a global metropolis, but the desert remained a constant factor just outside its walls. Modern solutions now promise to harness the desert itself as a resource rather than treating it solely as a barrier to expansion. It's an ambitious plan that merges ecology, economics, and an unconventional approach involving small yet productive animals. Ambitious plans to reclaim desert lands. Before the first large-scale release of Rex rabbits, Dubai embarked on multiple pilot programs for desert greening. Early efforts converged on two major fronts. One was the planting of desert-tolerant trees and shrubs, carefully cultivated in specialized nurseries. Species like goff, cedar, and other local varieties were selected for their ability to survive with minimal water. The government funded areas called green belts,
The Green Belt project aimed to safeguard the country from environmental disasters
near highways or around certain urban developments. These belts aim to reduce the amount of blowing sand and create microclimates where other plants could grow. Alongside flora-based initiatives, policy planners began discussing the potential role of animals in soil regeneration. Traditionally, Bedouin communities in the UAE had used camels and goats, among other livestock, for both sustenance and trade. While these animals are well adapted to desert life, they typically graze on sparse vegetation, and large herds can strip fragile plants if not carefully managed. The introduction of rabbits was meant to fill a different niche, to dig, aerate, and enrich the soil without exerting the same browsing pressure as larger livestock. Entrepreneurs saw a business angle in this proposition. By combining desert restoration with profitable ventures, such as rabbit meat production or fur trade, they believed local communities could be incentivized to participate. Commercial success stories have always drawn attention in Dubai, a city built on trade. So, when word got out that a team of environmental specialists was collaborating with rabbit breeders, local investors became curious. They realized there was an opportunity to align government ecological goals with private sector returns. This dynamic helped secure the funding for significant expansions of the rabbit project. To streamline the process, oversight committees were formed. These committees included wildlife biologists, vet technicians, agricultural consultants, and economists. Their joint responsibility was to plan how many rabbits would be introduced, where they would be released, and how to measure the impact on the environment. They also wanted to ensure that rabbits would not become invasive or cause harm to local ecosystems. Dubai's authorities value order and regulation, so they mandated strict guidelines on the feeding and care of these animals to limit any risk that the project might spiral out of control. By the time they settled on Rex hares as the prime candidate, the program blueprint included constructing large enclosures on designated desert plots. The idea was to let the rabbits roam freely inside a controlled perimeter, where they could dig and forage. Over time, the enclosed area could be expanded, or new sites could be opened based on what researchers learned from the pilot runs. In addition, they coordinated with horticultural experts to plant compatible vegetation that would benefit from rabbit-aerated soil. This vegetation typically included hardy grasses, desert shrubs like salix species, and legumes capable of fixing nitrogen in the soil. While all these plans sounded promising on paper, authorities and investors alike understood the scale of the undertaking. The desert is unforgiving. Mistakes with water allocation, disease outbreaks among rabbits, or poorly chosen crop seeds could quickly derail momentum. Still, Dubai's track record in transformative projects buoyed spirits. If the city could erect the world's tallest building on a sandy coastline, many believed it could also find a way to coax more life out of the desert. At the heart of the initiative was a belief that ecological well-being and economic development need not be at odds, especially if a fresh approach, like rabbit-based soil rejuvenation, could bridge that gap. Meet the Rex hare, a surprising ally. Rex hares, sometimes simply called Rex rabbits, originate from breeding programs in France. They are larger than typical domestic bunnies and valued for their soft, dense fur. Dubai's environmental planners chose them not just for their potential economic benefits, but also for their suitability to drier climates. While these rabbits still require shelter and water, they are known for thriving in conditions more arid than many other breeds can handle. Their grooming behavior helps them regulate body temperature, and their relatively robust constitution means they can adapt to desert-like regions if carefully managed. One of the most notable features of Rex hares is their strong digging instinct. They don't just nibble on surface plants, they also use their front paws to dig for roots and hidden nutrients. By doing so, they break up compacted sand layers and introduce pockets of air. In addition, the rabbits scatter nutrient-rich droppings across these disturbed areas. Over time, this natural fertilizer can boost soil fertility, creating a more hospitable environment for seeds that might otherwise struggle to germinate in dense, dry sand.
Agriculture in these conditions is not easy. I mean, we can see the desert environment we're surrounded with here. It's truly harsh, sandy, rocky desert sand.
It's a small-scale version of tilling and fertilizing, conducted by a living organism that works day and night. Their high reproductive rate is another factor that appealed to Dubai's planners. A single female Rex hare can produce numerous offspring each year. In a controlled environment, with veterinary checks and balanced feeding, the rabbit population can expand rapidly. This growth accelerates the overall soil conditioning effect. Of course, such fertility also raises concerns about overpopulation if not managed correctly. That's why project leaders emphasize regulated breeding, ensuring that each enclosed zone has an optimal number of rabbits for the available resources. Many locals initially doubted the suitability of foreign rabbits to the Emirati desert, fearing these animals would perish under the intense heat or become prey for local predators. However, the pilot projects showed that, with ample shade structures and limited predation in controlled areas, the rabbits adapted fairly well. Their fur, though plush, is not so insulating as to cause them constant overheating, especially with carved-out spaces where they can avoid direct sunlight. Regular health checkups are also a piece of the puzzle. Veterinarians vaccinate the rabbits and watch for signs of disease, ensuring that outbreaks are contained quickly. An added bonus is that Rex rabbit fur has market value. In some parts of the world, it's considered a high-quality material for coats and accessories.
This is 100% genuine Rex rabbit fur. It's a beautiful vest that is super comfortable.
This commercial angle resonates with Dubai's culture of finding profitable outlets for creative ideas. By integrating fur processing or meat packaging businesses into the desert reclamation plan, officials can encourage broader participation from private enterprises. Thus, Rex hares offer not just ecological advantages, but a potential source of income for local farms and entrepreneurs. How rabbits encourage vegetation growth. At the core of the desert management strategy involving rabbits is the concept that rabbits can prepare the desert floor in ways that mimic some aspects of common agricultural practices. The process starts when a rabbit digs into the ground to find roots, moisture, or bits of nutrient-rich material. This digging, albeit small scale on the individual level, adds up when multiple rabbits are involved. Each small hole they create helps break the flat or compacted surface typical of desert landscapes, letting air in and making it easier for water to seep downward during rainfall or watering sessions. Over weeks and months, many of these holes act like mini reservoirs, capturing and holding a little more moisture than untouched sand would. Seeds from desert-friendly plants, whether introduced by local horticulturists or carried by wind, have a better chance of germinating in these spots. On top of that, rabbit droppings contain fibrous plant material and trace minerals. These pellets are a natural fertilizer that can enrich the top layer of soil.
Rabbit droppings, or rabbit manure, whichever you want to call it. Rabbit manure is a very dry pellet.
Generally, deserts lack organic matter due to minimal plant growth. The rabbit's presence increases organic content bit by bit, and that helps develop a more robust soil structure over time. When the project first began, teams of volunteers and staff scattered seeds of drought-resistant plants, such as certain types of grasses and shrubs, across zones where rabbits roamed. The seed mix was selected based on resilience, root depth, and water requirements. Then, the rabbits went about their daily routine, digging, nibbling, and leaving fertilizer. As a result, small clusters of greenery started to appear. While some seedlings withered under the intense heat, enough sprouted to create small but noticeable patches of vegetation. Once these plants established root systems, they helped anchor the sand and further stabilize the area. These modest oases provided evidence that the concept wasn't just a theory. Observers noted how vegetation density was higher in zones with managed rabbit populations compared to untouched desert areas. This success encouraged further experimentation. researchers tried adjusting the ratio of male to female rabbits or altering feeding regimens to see how these factors influenced soil improvements. They also introduced plants with deeper taproots to see if the softened, more fertile soil would let them grow larger and stronger than they would have otherwise. Dubai's desert ecosystem doesn't just stand to benefit from rooted plants, though. By creating more reliability in the soil, these small green spaces can open the door for other organisms, like insects, birds, and reptiles, to find shelter and sources of food. Over time, a more complete food web could form, making the environment more hospitable and stable. The dream is that enough such patches will merge or expand to form continuous belts of greenery, serving as buffers against wind erosion and further desert expansion. Economic benefits and community impact. While ecological renewal lies at the heart of Dubai's rabbit-based desert project, economic incentives also play a vital role in ensuring its sustainability. The emirate is famous for its entrepreneurial spirit, and many see potential for revenue streams connected to rabbit breeding. Rex hares, in particular, attract attention for both their meat and their fur. The demand for lean protein has grown globally, and rabbit meat can be positioned as a niche product, serving health-conscious customers or gourmet markets. Meanwhile, well-processed Rex hare fur appeals to certain segments of the fashion industry. This combination of environmental and commercial advantages encourages local people, including some desert-dwelling communities on the outskirts of Dubai's urban zones, to get involved. Farmers can earn a supplementary income by raising rabbits, selling them to established distributors.
Mr. He managed to sell his rabbits to a business based in Ninh province. Every month, He sells the company 1,300 to 1,500 rabbits, earning a net income of more than $2,100.
Or directly marketing meat and byproducts. Animal feed suppliers, veterinary services, and specialized transport services also find new opportunities. In turn, the kaleidoscope of different businesses fosters broader support for the desert greening effort. Tourism constitutes another potential income source. Visitors to Dubai are generally eager for unique experiences, and the idea of exploring developing oases in the middle of the desert has a certain appeal. Safari tours can now include a segment where tourists learn about how rabbits are used to regenerate the land, see the emerging greenery, and possibly even feed or interact with tame rabbits in controlled areas. Ecotourism has been on the rise worldwide, and Dubai's flair for innovative projects could draw travel enthusiasts looking for something beyond the usual offerings of malls and entertainment centers. Despite these benefits, there are cautionary tales. Large-scale rabbit rearing requires oversight. If farmers or breeding cooperatives don't follow best practices, disease outbreaks can occur, leading to major setbacks and reduced interest from would-be investors. Water management also remains a key concern. Rabbits themselves need hydration, and so do the new plants. In a desert with limited natural water supplies, ensuring the right balance between use for livestock, irrigation, and human consumption is crucial. Serious planning goes into building water pipelines, storage facilities, and monitoring systems to keep track of daily usage. In the meantime, many Emiratis appreciate the improved view and reduced threat of sand infiltration around their properties. Early successes in desert stabilization mean that constant dust storms or drifting sand piles blocking roads become less frequent in greened zones. Additionally, communities can gain social pride in helping shape a cutting-edge effort that places Dubai on the map of forward-thinking ecological projects. Children growing up in these communities may see rabbits not as just pets or farm animals, but as part of a large solution to environmental pressure. Recently, Prince William and Princess Kate have reportedly held a private meeting with their eldest son, Prince George, to reveal a long-kept secret. What's interesting is that all of this is happening amidst the rift between Prince William and Prince Harry, and Prince William even said there's no hope of reconciliation.
Look, they're two guys now who aren't talking to each other. William is not returning Harry's calls. Charles hasn't spoken to Harry in a very, very long time. He's cut him off financially.
What could the mystery that the royal couple has hidden from Prince George for so long be? Join us as we reveal the details behind Prince William's shocking revelation and what's happening in the British castle since he dropped the royal bombshell. The bombshell. Prince William revealed the shocking secret to Prince George during a carefully planned meeting with both him and his wife, Princess Kate. The preparation of Prince George for the role of king has been done with care, especially with how Prince William and Princess Kate have purposefully timed the revelation of his fate. As royal biographer Robert Lacey says, this important conversation happened around George's 7th birthday, and it was the beginning of his understanding the gravity of what his royal responsibilities mean. While it's admirable that such conscious preparation is done, this points to the deeper issue of the royal family, including Prince William, having strained relations with other family members. The ongoing rift between William and his brother, Prince Harry, coupled with worse family tensions, casts a shadow over George's future, and here's why this rift may never end. It was recently revealed that Prince William feels he has been personally attacked by his brother Prince Harry and has no intention of reconciling with him.
Your arguments with your brother became physical.
It was a build-up of frustration, I think, on his part.
According to a report by royal expert Hilary Fordwich, the fallout over Harry's memoir Spare has made things between the two brothers nearly irreconcilable. Fordwich says William and his wife, Princess Kate, felt personally affronted by the scathing revelations in Harry's book, which depicted the royal family in a negative light. This breach, Fordwich suggests, has made any potential reconciliation unlikely. The split between William and Harry has been under heavy public scrutiny, and with his future as king looming, William is said to be even more circumspect about any public association with his brother. As he works on building himself up for his future reign, he considers the constant drama involving Harry a distraction he can ill afford. This strained relationship is further compounded by Harry's decision to speak publicly about their private matters, further distancing himself from the royal fold. The weight of his future role as king is already felt by the 42-year-old heir apparent, Prince William. His preparation for duty was led, says royal expert Hilary Fordwich, by his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, who spent Sundays tutoring him on royal obligations. As William prepares to ascend the throne, Fordwich mentioned a huge generational pressure on him amid an increasingly critical public regarding the monarchy and his desire to see it remain popular. The tension in William's relationships with some relatives, especially after Prince Harry's public attacks in his memoir Spare and the unsavory associations of Prince Andrea, was another class of scrutiny altogether.
And then the full-blown fight between the two brothers later on that Harry writes about in his book Spare, where there was this physical confrontation between William and Harry.
William is reportedly estranged from Andrew, who has repeatedly created controversy for the family over his associations with convicted offender Jeffrey Epstein. Fordwich said William has a clear desire to keep himself as far away from Andrew as possible to protect the monarchy's future when he becomes king. Reports also suggest that William is embracing his growing influence and is prepared to lead with a stricter approach. A palace insider revealed that William is unwilling to tolerate any resistance to his authority and is aiming to become one of the toughest monarchs the family has seen. He is reportedly focused on maintaining financial discipline within the royal household, ensuring that no special perks are granted, and emphasizing environmental responsibility. His determination to reduce wasteful spending, including limiting the use of private jets, aligns with his vision for a more sustainable monarchy. William must deal with the conflicting demands of his personal obligations and the changing dynamics within the royal family as he mulls over the future of the British monarchy. His legacy for his children and the country will probably be influenced by the mounting pressure to manage these difficulties. But here's something quite fascinating. One may be wondering how this rift between Prince William and Prince Harry even started, and what could have led to such a deep divide between the two brothers. The tension between them, once a symbol of royal unity, now seems irreparable. The reasons behind this fracture are complicated, leading to their current estrangement.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I think she would be sad.
From conflicting values to public revelations, it all adds up to a dramatic shift in their relationship. But one thing is certain. Whatever Prince William is leaving for his children will inevitably be affected by his relationship with his brother. Stick around, because you'll soon find out the full story and the shocking details that sparked this dramatic fallout. The brothers fall out. The rift between Prince William and Prince Harry, once seemingly inseparable brothers, actually has its roots in their childhood, where a series of events gradually shifted their bond from close allies to that of being more like distant rivals. Growing up in the limelight, the brothers were often seen as one, with their shared experiences as sons of Princess Diana and Prince Charles. But tragedy tinged their childhood when their mother died in 1997, a feature that affected both of them quite deeply. While working their way through the grieving process, William, the older brother, continuously protected Harry from the media and public scrutiny, sometimes weighing on their relationship since Harry felt he lived in the shadow of his more serious and studious older brother. Added to this was the pressure of living up to expectations placed on William as heir to the throne. Meanwhile, Harry's rebellious nature and independence-seeking personality often sought attention in ways that sometimes clashed with William's more reserved nature. Their relationship became even more frayed as the brothers entered early adulthood. In 2005, Harry's decision to wear a Nazi uniform to a costume party sparked outrage, and William, already by then steeped deeply in royal duty, was called upon to intervene publicly in support of his brother. An apology from Harry did little to mask the fact that the brothers' roles were changing. With William becoming ever more dedicated to his future role as king and subsequently marrying Kate Middleton, Harry continued to become the spare. The real cracks in their relationship started when both brothers grew older and pursued different paths in their lives. It was Harry's memoir, Spare, which opened this canyon of isolation forming between the brothers in 2023. Harry had aired grievances in the Book of Feeling, increasingly pushed aside and unsupported by William, often seen as the favorite child.
Prince Harry's highly anticipated tell-all memoir, Spare, it has officially hit bookstores nationwide. The Duke of Sussex recounts decades worth of personal struggles and royal family tensions, but still no comment from Buckingham Palace.
He even accused William of being part of a system that perpetuated tension and rivalry within the royal family. William, for his part, felt deeply hurt by Harry's public revelations, particularly as they painted the family in an unflattering light. The media storm that followed only deepened the divide between the two. As the years went on, Harry's decision to step back from royal duties and his move to the United States with his wife, Meghan Markle, further isolated him from the royal fold. It was the ultimate test of their relationship, with William reportedly feeling that Harry's actions were an affront to the family and the institution. Things only got worse between the brothers when Harry spoke publicly about personal details of their private conversations and family matters in interviews and public statements. For William, it was not only the emotional damage of these exposures, but also a position in the future throne that has made reconciliation all but impossible. The deepening rift is no longer a purely personal matter. It carries implications for the future shape of the monarchy. This is why Prince William's statement that there's no hope for reconciliation has great implications, and the details will amaze you. No hope for reconciliation. Putting aside their previous tiffs and disagreements, what initially seemed like a minor disagreement at the end of 2018 has now blown out into a very deep and public break that does not seem to be healing anytime soon. With William in place to ascend the throne, and Harry well into his new life across the Atlantic, the drama has raised questions about the future of the monarchy and what place their children might occupy in its evolving narrative. It all started in November 2018, when rumors broke that Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton were at odds. But sources close to the royals soon let slip that the real tension was between the brothers. Harry reportedly felt that William hadn't done enough to welcome Meghan into the fold, leading to a confrontation during preparations for the Christmas. Although King Charles intervened to mediate, and the Cambridges invited the Sussexes to spend the holiday together, the tension did not dissipate. By December, public moments like William appearing to ignore Meghan during a family walk hinted at deeper issues. By early 2019, the cracks in their bond became harder to hide. Reports suggested William had expressed concerns about Harry's whirlwind romance with Meghan, advice that Harry interpreted as criticism. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Click on the next video displayed on your screen. You will enjoy it.